Hello class, welcome back to the Chong channel. We're looking at another Regents question, June 2019, number 33. It's a part 3 question and it's worth 4 points. Alright, so let's dig in. A child-sized pool can be modeled by a cylinder. So I did my best to draw it. The pool has a diameter of 6.5 feet. So in my work later, you see here, instead of writing 6.5, I change it to a decimal. So half is 0.5. And a height of 12 inches. The pool is filled with water 2/3 of its height. So if you look at the drawing here, I separated the pool into 3 parts, right? And so I filled it with water. In this case, I shaded it yellow. So yellow is how much the water is filled, and it's filled 2/3 to its height. So water filled 2/3 to its height. The question is asking us to determine and state the volume of the water in the pool. So that's the yellow. We were looking for the volume of the yellow to the nearest cubic foot. There's another part to the question, but we'll come back to that soon. So first, if you notice, there's a lot of tape going on here because I made some mistakes, and this is probably the common mistake that most students will make on this Regents. This one was really mean of them. If you read carefully, the diameter is in feet and the height is in inches. This is where I messed up, and this is probably where a lot of students will mess up if you're not reading carefully. Now, the question says to the nearest cubic foot. So what does that mean? Change all your units to foot. Whatever the question asks, that's what you change it to. So since this one is already in feet, let me change 12 inches into feet. Well, look at the diagram here. How many inches are in a foot? Well, 12 inches equals 1 foot. So in the diagram, instead of using 12 now, I'm going to change it into 1 foot. So basically in the work, I'm going to change the pink into feet as being the units. Alright, so on the Regents, on the reference sheet, they give you the formula for finding the volume of a cylinder. But keep in mind, we're focusing on the yellow part of the cylinder, not the whole thing. So pi times the radius. Well, when we go back to the original diagram, the diameter was 6.5. We know that the radius is half. So we're going to divide this diameter by 2 and we get 3.25. So we plug that in, squared. And now be careful. We want the height of the yellow part, but they said the water is filled 2/3 of its height. Well, 2/3, I'm going to keep it in a fraction in parentheses. Now, what was the height? The height was 1 foot. But anything times 1 is itself, so I'm just going to rewrite that the water's height is 2/3 feet. Now, if you noticed here, I left it as a fraction because if I put 2/3 in the calculator, it's a repeating decimal. It gets messy. So anytime you see a fraction, put it in parentheses. So now in the calculator, I input exactly what I see on my paper. So if you see here, I got pi times 3.25 squared over times 2/3. So then I copy that decimal down. And so here in the question, it says round to the nearest cubic foot, which means whole number. So 22.1 is rounded to 22 cubic feet. Now, up until there, the question was, tricky in itself. But there's a second part to the problem. So now let's look carefully. 1 cubic foot equals 7.48 gallons of water. So I write that down here. 1 cubic foot equals 7.48 gallons of water. The question asks us to determine and state to the nearest gallon the number of gallons of water in the pool. So going back to the picture, we want to know how many gallons is this yellow part. Well, we already found the volume of the water in the pool, and that was 22 cubic feet. Well, if 1 cubic feet is 7.48 gallons, 22 cubic feet would be 22 times 7.48, which is this number. The question asked us to round to the nearest gallon. So rounded to the nearest gallon means whole number. And so we underline the last digit of the whole number. Look at the next number, and that number was 5 or more, so we round up. So that is the number of gallons of water in the pool. I hope this helped, and this was a 4-point question on the regions. See you later. Bye.